is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in to Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, coming to you here on this Prep Thursday edition as we get ready for the weekend that is coming up with some high school football and other high school sports chatter. I do hate, though, Mo, that I'm not in the office because I don't have my TV to watch Culleoka and Merrill Hyde play soccer this afternoon. Very upset about that. But
well, they play at 3, so
right. I'll be able to grab. I'll be able to see the second half for sure. Over there. So, but yeah, it's a great day. We've got soccer state tournaments happening, and that's exciting. It really is. So we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a second and give you some scores and updates. We'll also talk to Nick Patterson, the football coach at Richland, on Coach's Corner, as his team is getting ready for a pretty big game against Loretto. So we'll get his thoughts on that and on Ethan Workman, who has been twice now named Main Street Preps Player of the Week. So that's exciting. We'll also get into Vanderbilt. They just released some renderings of their upgrades that they are funding now, and so much more. Tons to get to, high school football picks and everything else as well. So stick around. It's going to be a great 90 minutes. Looking forward to it. But first, Mo, how are you?
Honestly, don't ask.
Today has been a really bad day.
It's been a day, man, and we're not even into our show yet. So
I know this is going to be the best part of my day. My day is going to get better from here on out. I'm speaking it into existence. It's going to be a good show. I've got a charity event this evening that I'm going to attend, and I'm speaking it into existence. It's going to be a good day the rest of the day.
I think it's going to be a good day the rest of the day as well. I'm going to speak to a class at Belmont University this evening. So,
ooh,
yeah.
They let you into an institution of higher learning.
Go figure, huh? They asked me at that, so I figure they must have run through everybody else. I don't know, but no.
That's awesome.
Friend of the show and Main Street Murray part-timer Landon Sechrist asked me if I would come and speak to his Sports in Americana class, and the class instructor is longtime and former Christ Presbyterian Academy athletics director Mike Elson. So I couldn't turn that down. So it's going to be as fun as speaking to a class is for me, because I'm not big on public speaking. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, you've been speaking to the youngsters. You got a little experience earlier this year speaking to the youngsters. So
yeah.
Hopefully you can take what you learned there and apply it this evening.
Hopefully it helped. Yeah. Hopefully somebody got something good out of that, and hopefully somebody will get something good out of this. But it should be fun.
It should be, absolutely. Well, we've got, again, great show coming up. Looking forward to it, and hope you guys will stick with us. Why don't we get to yesterday's results and today's schedule, Mo, and give them the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Girls soccer state tournament action in Chattanooga from yesterday. It was Culleoka in overtime defeating Crosstown 3-2. Station Camp with a 2-1 win over Franklin County. Siegel defeated Gallatin 2-1. Page down Livingston Academy 1-0. Also Merrill Hyde defeated Alcoa 1-0. And Murfreesboro Central with a 4-1 win over Seymour.
In soccer action today, Boyd Buchanan and BGA are in progress. Battleground Academy with a very commanding lead right now in the 75th minute, 5 Neal over Boyd Buchanan.
That's
Yeah.
pretty commanding.
Yes, it is. Page takes on Greenville at 3, while Siegel and Houston will play at 3. Also at 3 is Culleoka and Merle Hyde. At 5:30, first touch, it'll be Murfreesboro Central and East Hamilton, and then Bearden taking on Station Camp.
In football action tonight, all these are 7 o'clock kickoffs. Dixon County is at Antioch. Eagleville hosts Fayetteville. Friendship Christian takes on visiting Middle Tennessee Christian. Cannon County at the Brickyard against Giles County. And Whites Creek hosting East Robertson.
In NHL action tonight, the Preds are taking on the St. Louis Blues at Bridgestone Arena. That's a 7 p.m. puck drop. You can see it on Bally Sports South. NBA action, the Grizzlies are out west. It's a 9 p.m. tip against the Sacramento Kings, who are currently winless. That one's going to be on Bally Sports Southeast, probably. I don't know how that works. In NFL action on Amazon Prime at 7:15, the Ravens will be at the Buccaneers. And in college football action tonight on ESPN, it's Virginia Tech at North Carolina State, 6:30 kick. Louisiana at Southern Miss at 6:30 as well. That's on the Deuce. And Utah at Washington State, Pac-12 After Dark weekday edition on FS1. And that is today's rundown. Oh, today's top story comes to us from some Braves chatter, as Spencer Strider was named the Sporting News National League Rookie of the Year. Now, that's not the actual Rookie of the Year, but it is a pretty well respected award.
Pretty prestigious honor. Yeah. Strider taking 47% of the vote in that balloting. Michael Harris, the second, taking 41% of the vote. What were the other 12% of that 212 thinking?
I really don't even know. What is 12%? Was it about 25?
12, it's about 25, 26 probably.
So,
but yeah, what was on their mind? What are they doing?
Who did they vote for?
That Brendan Donovan of St. Louis, I'd imagine.
Gotcha. Goodness gracious. But
that's
still
pretty amazing, though, that players off one team command 88% of the vote.
It's insane. It really is.
Let's see. The other balloting for the Sporting News MLB honors, Aaron Judge, surprise, surprise, MLB Player of the Year. Strider is Rookie of the Year. Brandon Drury of the Reds and Padres is Comeback Player of the Year in the National League, which I'm a little surprised at that. Buck Showalter, NL Manager of the Year. Julio Rodriguez, AL Rookie of the Year. Justin Verlander, Comeback Player of the Year in the American League. And Brandon Hyde of the Orioles. They got that one right. Was your AL Manager of the Year. Let's see.
Yeah, no question there.
Yeah.
I don't know how you listen. Showalter, congrats to him and all, but I don't know how you get Manager of the Year with the payroll that they had and all that went. I mean, not winning 100 games would have been, just pure luck or bad luck, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have had to have kind of managed them off a cliff to have not. But at any rate, I guess they figured they'd give the Mets something. I don't know.
I guess. That being said, certainly not going to vote for my guy. So,
well, I'm interested. Again, this won't be the last Rookie of the Year award presented in the National League, and I'm interested to see how some of the other ones go. I think it'll be either Strider Harris or Harris Strider, obviously, but I tend to lean toward the guy that's making an everyday contribution at a high level rather than a starting pitcher who only goes out every fifth day, but I can't really argue with Strider, given what he did when he was doing it. Again, missed the last 3 weeks of the regular season,
and was a bullpen piece for the first month.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, that's what's crazy is, I mean, he probably strikes out 250 if they start him as if he's a starter from day one.
From the start. Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. But yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, you would
Although
think
now flip that. It might have taken that time for him to kind of get his feet on the ground at the major league level as well.
Maybe. It's very possible. Forgive me if I don't have faith that he was managed properly.
Oh, forgiven. Absolutely forgiven. Yeah. Oh, wow.
I mean, there's that. It's not
is there another postseason team whose fan base is as displeased with their managerial situation as the Braves?
I can't imagine there is. And here's the thing is we're not exactly in, it's not 100% we're all upset at Brian Snicker though, as far as the fan base is concerned. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there who are saying, what are you talking about? He's done this. I'm like, listen,
there is definitely a faction that would not mind. I'd not be bothered if Snicker came in one day and just said, you know what? I'm done.
No.
And that's the only way it's going to go down.
That's exactly right. At this point, there's no way you can get rid of him. He's won a World Series. He's won 4 division titles. He's 5 division titles. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And
fire this guy.
No. Speaking of managerial decisions, though, the Marlins have one now.
Skip Shoemaker.
Is it Shoemake, isn't it?
No. It's
no. That's right. Shoemake is now in Texas. Right. There's 2 guys named. There's a Shoemake and a Shoemaker.
I don't know. Bruce Bochy is the new manager of the Rangers, though. So I'm not sure of whom you speak, but Skip Shoemaker, who played for the Cardinals, I know. I'm not sure where or if he was. I guess he was on somebody's staff, but I don't know where he's coming from to Miami. But he is the new guy at Miami. Jared Michael Skip Shoemaker.
I like that Skip is like his actual nickname.
Yeah. Skip is the new Skip for Miami, I guess. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where he was. I'm seeing a lot of pictures of him with the Padres, so maybe he was bench coach or something with them this year.
He spent his he was with the Cardinals this past year.
Okay.
And was with the Padres from 18 to 21, played in the Cardinals organization from 05 to 12. I remember him there. I don't remember him as a Dodger or a Red for that matter. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out for him. Good for him. They kind of went the complete opposite direction. Went from an old guy to a really young guy, and hopefully, Ronald Acuna will stop being hit by the Marlins.
Well, between the managerial change and Urania being gone, I'd like to think that will, like you said, come to an end. So we'll see.
Yes, we will. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we are scheduled to be joined by Nick Patterson, Richland head football coach. So on Coach's Corner. So stick around. We'll hand out some hardware as well right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yow, Mo Patton coming to you here on this Thursday edition. It's time to get you ready for some high school football action. And again, Richland coach Nick Patterson scheduled to join us here and should be doing so momentarily. He has his information, and hopefully will join us. But before he does, Mo, we might as well hand out some hardware.
Let's do it. You want to start it off? I'll let you.
All right. Well, we'll start with our End to Win Life Team of the Week, presented by our friends at Custom Stone Handlers and Ned Rich and fine folks at Custom Stone Handlers. We appreciate them giving us some love to these athletes and these teams. And so today's End to Win Life Team of the Week is your champions.
They are champions. The Class A volleyball state champions for the third time in the last 4 years. Is that right? I believe it is. The Summertown Lady Eagles, who defeated Loretto in straight sets last Friday over at Siegel to claim that title after falling to Loretto in the winner's bracket finals of the tournament the day before. So big win for Andrea Kelly's bunch, as they've kind of gotten used to big wins. And congratulations to them and to Ansley Burleson, who was named the championship game MVP from her performance against Loretto on Friday. So big win, big honor. It
is in fact. And again, I still think we need game 7 or match 7.
Well, and again, I think the only folks that might disagree with you were wearing blue on Friday.
Just like we are today. We matched today.
Yeah. Twinsies.
It happens. The MTBJ player or athlete of the week this week goes to a school we haven't gotten a chance to talk about much this year.
Yeah. Summit senior running back Dominic Hollis had a breakout performance last week against Shelbyville. 13 carries for 262 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 75-yarder, as the Spartans spanked Shelbyville 48-0 on homecoming. So if you're going to beat somebody, that's when you want to beat them. You want to win on homecoming. So that was a big win and a highlight in a tough season for Summit, but big win for them and a big night for Dominic. So he is our Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint athlete of the week this week.
All right. And Mo, still waiting on Coach Patterson to join us. So we will.
We can kind of set things up though,
That's what I was
because
gonna say.
one of the reasons that we wanted to reach out to Richland coach Nick Patterson is, as you said, they've got a big one tomorrow night. They've got Loretto coming to their place, and basically the playoffs start a week early because the winner of this one hosts the opening round of the playoffs as the number 2 team out of Region 5 2A. And the loser of this one will go on the road, as you've been pointing out, to either Lewis County or Riverside as the number 3 seed out of 5 2A. So this is there's a little bit riding on this one.
Yeah, and you know, this is a team that you've seen a couple of times this year against Forest and I think Cascade. Did you saw that Cascade?
Yeah.
Game, right?
No, I did not see the Cascade game. I was with you for the Cornersville game.
That's right, Cornersville. And this team has kind of found some different ways to win, but they've been riding the workhorse Ethan Workman pretty much.
Aptly named
Ethan Workman.
Yes, absolutely. It's got like 675 rushing yards, got 735 receiving yards, 23 offensive touchdowns. Last week, he contributed a 67-yard punt return for a touchdown in their win over East Hickman. So, I mean, very versatile. Good size for that classification at 6'1", 180, and it's kind of the X factor offensively for Richland this season.
Yeah, he was he was kind of the focal point of that of the hash marks article for Main Street Preps that Tyler Palmatier writes, and you know, one of the things that Nick Patterson said about Ethan Workman was that, you know, he really doesn't mind being, you know, whatever you need him to be, and he'll play receiver. He'll line up there and take the Wildcat, you know, snaps. He'll run it, you know, run it down your throat, or he'll try to beat you to the corner. It doesn't really matter. And then on defense is where he really shines. He is one of their leaders on the defensive side of the football as well. And, you know, kudos to that young man. I know his size is probably going to hinder him at the next level, but if he wants to play somewhere, somebody will find him a spot.
I don't know though, Chris. I mean, 6'1", 180.
Yeah, but where are you going to put him? I mean, is he fast enough to play safety at the next level? He probably can't play running back.
I don't think he can play running back. I think he can play
maybe
receiver.
slot.
I think he can play safety. Maybe you can put him at an outside linebacker who drops back into some coverage or something.
Maybe a dime or a nickel back. Yeah, that's where he might be really.
He can play for somebody somewhere, and it would be a travesty if he's not.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Mike Jasper hasn't been on the phone with him at some point. So I can tell you that much for sure.
That'd be a perfect fit, actually.
Absolutely, it would. It doesn't look like we're gonna. I have no contact right now with Coach Patterson. So, Coach's Corner is brought to you by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. Renee Hart and the fine folks there are always keeping you fed and happy out that way. If you are in the area, maybe you're headed to Henry Horton, maybe you're headed to a Forest football game, maybe you're headed to a Walker Hayes video shoot in Chapel Hill, apparently.
Or maybe you need something catered and you can go pick it up, or she can bring it to you as well. So
they do a lot of business lunches,
mm-hmm.
and they cater those a lot, and they are phenomenal.
Yeah,
we've missed Renee on a couple of occasions, but while we have gone out there, because she was catering business lunches, and when she got back and told us what she made, we were like, we should have just went with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I actually got to see her a couple of weeks ago when I went over there for the Richland Forest game, and I had called ahead to make sure she was going to be there. So we got to hang out for a little bit, and business is still good. And again, they've also got the breakfast barn, and Yeah, she's always kind of tweaking things over there. So there's a lot going on. Be sure and run through and check them out.
So, full disclosure, Mo and Renee, you guys were schoolmates, right?
Yeah, we were schoolmates. I'm older than her, but we went to school together, and her mom was a substitute teacher at Franklin, and so we go way back.
So you guys were schoolmates. We have another, just recently, I guess, was it yesterday, the day before, you posted the picture from your school newspaper.
My junior high newspaper, yeah. The Franklin Special School District. Chris, you used to live here in Franklin, so you know that Franklin Special and Williamson County are two separate school districts, and Franklin Special only goes through 8th grade now. But so yeah, I was part of the junior high newspaper, the Rebel Yell.
Awesome.
And there was the FSSD, for some random reason, decided to post a picture from that had run in the Review Appeal, the Franklin newspaper, back in 78, 79, and also found a picture of the VOT,
Mike
the voice
Keith.
of the Titans, Mike Keith, for some
cool.
essay contest that he had been involved in. So yeah, nice recognition for both Mike and I. Mike and me, excuse me. I'm sure he appreciated that, even though he's not on Twitter to really get involved in that. I figure he probably saw it. So.
He probably did. Well, Mo, let's talk a little bit about Richland football, and let's do it with Coach Nick Patterson, who joins us now on Coach's Corner. Coach, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Busy day as usual.
Isn't it?
Understand. Appreciate you carving out a little time for us, Nick. We were just talking. Obviously, this game tomorrow night at your place against Loretto is a big one. The winner hosts an opening round game in the 2A state playoffs. The loser goes on the road. And I mean, it's not like going on the road is anything that you can't handle, but it's always better to be at home when you can.
Well, it is. It's been a long, long time since we've been able to host a playoff game here at Richland. So, for our community, for our kids, it's a big deal. It was one of our big goals going into the season, and then we have the chance to accomplish that, like you said, tomorrow night. So it's definitely a big deal, and it's a big difference sometimes, hosting a 3 seed versus traveling to a 2 seed. So definitely a lot on the line.
Can you tell how that region is shaping up? Who are the 2 and 3 right now? Is that decided yet?
I think the 3 is Adamsville outright. I believe Scotts Hill, if I got it right, Scotts Hill and East Hickman will play for the 4th seed tomorrow night, and Riverside and Lewis County will play for the 1st and 2nd seed.
That's some pretty solid scheduling right there. When you can get it set up like that, when you're playing for 1 and 2 in week 11, that's pretty good stuff.
Yes, sir.
They must have stolen my crystal ball.
Well, I wonder if that doesn't, and no matter what happens, I wonder if that doesn't help whoever is the 3 seed, whether it be you, Richland, or Loretto, because they will have played a dogfight the week before, which you guys will too. But it should be interesting. I'm really excited about week 1 of the playoffs in these 2 regions because I think they match up really well.
They do, for sure. And, like you just said, there's some big time ball games, to decide some things tomorrow night for sure. And, at this point anyway, and that's what we've told our kids all week, it's survive and advance anyway. We're kind of treating this like playoff mode as well. So, we're going to try to survive and advance and push through and see what happens.
Nick, I've had a chance to see Loretto a couple of times, obviously not from a coach's point of view, but as a coach, looking at them as much and as hard as you have, I'm sure, to get ready for tomorrow night, what is it about them that concerns you?
Well, they got a real dynamic offense. They do a lot of good things, got a lot of athletes all over the field. A couple good running backs, several good receivers. A quarterback he was good last year, but he's improved still this year. So just a really dynamic offense. So we got to try to slow down, get some stops, get some turnovers. That'll be probably the biggest key to the night is, how many stops and turnovers and try to steal some possessions from them.
Trevor Meadows and Jaden Pryor really play some key roles for you defensively as you get ready for this game. Is that correct?
They do, yes, sir. They're part of our secondary.
And I mean, the way Loretto has the ability to throw the ball, how do you match up with those receivers, do you think?
Well, our like you said, Jaden plays free safety for us, done a great job for us all year. Trevor as well. We've gotten several turnovers on the back end of our defense. We're going to rely on our front to get some pressure as well and try to move that quarterback off his spots a little bit and, try to rush it and mess up the timing some. But they got to do a good job on the back end. But Andrew Huff and Jaden, Colton Trimble, those guys have played a lot of football for us at this point through last year and this year. Trevor's a senior. He's played, probably started since he was a sophomore. So he's been in a lot of big-time games. So, I think we got an experienced group back there. It's just going to be a matter of playing disciplined football and doing our job.
Nick Patterson joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe in Chapel Hill. And, Coach, one of the ways to stifle a really good offense is to keep them off the field, and you can do that with your run game, especially when you've got the ability to go 7, 8, 9 plays and do nothing but run it up the gut and eventually score touchdowns. And Ethan Workman has been a workhorse for you all season long. And when you go to that Notre Dame box and I've seen you walk out to the numbers and call the play and just scream it, and they still couldn't stop it. That's got to be a relieving factor.
Well, our kids have a lot of confidence in our packages that we do. Heck, I do too. What we're doing, I think I told somebody, we're a bunch of country kids that haul hay all summer and still believe in old school. So, everybody wants to spread it around and that's new age football and stuff. And we do a little bit of that as well. Bryce, I think was 7 of 8 for 190 last week in the air. So, we can throw it around when we need to, but our kids don't mind grinding it out. We've kind of built ourselves up on that, for a matter of fact.
That was actually me that you told that, Nick. But it has to be, as Chris was saying, it's comforting to see your kids, rally to that box the way they have. They've really embraced it. They like, and I guess success has something to do with that. But it seems like they have really embraced that 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I guess with Ethan, it's not necessarily 3 yards.
No, and especially as the game wears on, we got a pretty big, good-sized offensive line that's made up of a bunch of seniors, and that certainly helps the cause as well. But we feel like we can get up there and just kind of push on people for a while, and we feel like we get the ball game in the third or fourth quarter that we can really, really grind it out and be who we want to be, and those 3 yards, 4 yards start turning into 10, 12, 20-yard big gains, and it's just like you said, it's a belief system that our kids have that, they understand we can do that. And again, we've talked a lot about being able to do other things and have to do other things as well, to be who we want to be. But it's definitely a good addition to it for sure.
Winning makes it a lot easier to embrace that, though, I guess, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. Yep. And that's been big for us here at Richland. You guys both know that, when we got here and then even way before that, it's been a tough road here at Richland for many, many years. And just changing that mindset and that culture of who we want to be and what we can be has been a big deal. And, it's something that this is my 5th year, and when we've been inching closer and closer and feel like we've made that hurdle, made that jump and then kind of got over the mountaintop this year and looking to keep things going.
Nick Patterson, coach at Richland High School, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Nick, you guys go into tomorrow night 7-2 overall, 3-1 in Region 5 2A play. Your 2 losses came in consecutive weeks against Mount Pleasant and at Collinwood. Do you feel like that Collinwood game, you guys kind of left a little something on the table there? That's a team that has not had a whole lot of success this year. You guys and Huntland the week before were their only 2 victories to this point.
Well, it was fall break for us. and not to, make excuses, but we had some kids out due to fall break and that sort of thing. You try to, when you schedule, try to get off fall break, but somebody's got to play on it. And that's been us the last couple of years. And I think it's a battle for most teams that end up having to play on fall break, with different kids doing different things and that sort of thing. But it's just a battle that we have to face. And we didn't do a very good job of being here and preparing with the ones we had, and kind of let one slip there. But hopefully, we can learn and grow from it, and that'll be the important thing. It won't hurt us in the long run, if we get better from it, for sure.
No question. Coach, we appreciate your time. I will see you tomorrow night out in Linville. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Nick Patterson here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, and Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe. Thanks to Renee and the fine folks out in Chapel Hill for taking care of us all when we're hungry. It's always a pleasure to get out there. Where I was going with that before Nick so rudely interrupted us with his presence, Mo.
How dare he come on the show after we invite him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I can't believe. Where I was going with your schoolmate situation was that your former schoolmate Winona Judd announced today that she is going to be hosting a pretty big party at Murphy Center next week, and I'm trying to find a way to go.
Well, I mean,
I'm just letting you know.
Just flash that media pass and walk on
and see what happens.
There. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I'm just here to see Coach Insel.
There you go. Yeah, you know people. You'll be all right.
Oh man,
I'll tell you what. She's a schoolmate, but I'd tell you that you probably got a better chance of getting in than I do. So.
Well, I thought it was interesting how the connection there between Murphy Center and Winona, and I was like, man, they're going to do a concert. We've been talking about concerts, and this is apparently going to be kind of the official kickoff of the 50th anniversary events because of basketball and all of that sort of thing. But it's been 31 years since that was the final tour stop of the Judds, right. December 4th, 1991, when they made their final appearance on stage together at Murphy Center. So it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm excited. Like I said, I told Sarah, I said, we got to find a way to go. It's just going to be too cool. The tour mates are really good. Ashley McBride, Martina McBride, Little Big Town, who also, how about this? Little Big Town's Jimmy Westbrook is from my hometown.
Well, there you go. Well,
and I
hit Jimmy up. You're good.
let me just hit Jimmy up, right?
Yeah. What is it? Kelsey Ballerini.
Kelsey Ballerini is there as well. So it's going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to finding. I'm really just trying to find a babysitter in case y'all are out there and y'all know somebody. All you got to do is just be here at my house. My kid goes to sleep at 7:00. We'll leave at 7 and get there. I mean, we might get in a little late, but you ain't even got to do nothing.
Oh, goodness. So if you are someone wouldn't mind babysitting. Now, this is November.
It's next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like around the corner.
Okay, so it's just one child then that they would be babysitting.
Just one. Just one. No worries there. No worries there. But anyway, that's where I was going with that, and I figured I might as well, wrap it up with a bow before we get out of here and talk a little Vanderbilt, because the Commodores, who are also in the midst of a massive athletic facilities upgrade, released some renderings today themselves. So they thought, what's good for the Titans? We can do whatever you can do, Titans, we can do better. And so we'll take a look at the renderings and give our thoughts on the other side of a break. So stick around here. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joints, coming to you on this Thursday edition. Getting you ready for some high school football action. As we just talked to Nick Patterson of Richland down in Linville. And if you've not been to Linville, you should definitely go. 31 South has some of the best barbecue and weird stuff. Great pizza too, by the way. But you know, they have some unique menu items, such as the barbecue pork, basically cheesesteak kind of thing. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a Philly cheesesteak, except instead of the cheesesteak, you got pork, and it's delicious. I love it. And it's cheap. I mean, my goodness. So if you haven't been to Linville, you should definitely go check out 31 South right there on 31 South. It's in the name.
Pretty original. Yeah. So where is this place anyway? Well,
matter of fact, glad you asked. It's funny. When in 2011, my mom and I opened a cafe, and we called it 269 Cafe because it was located on Highway 269. What more can you ask for?
That was pretty inventive, pretty creative on y'all's part, huh?
You got you got directions and a name all in one.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's going to be a good weekend of high school football, like you said, Mo. We got a lot of games that mean something this weekend. So looking forward to it. Let's talk a little now about Vanderbilt, as they released some renderings today of their athletic facility upgrades. And I'll tell you what, that right there is pretty cool.
That ain't bad.
That's not bad. And the best,
I guess that's the north end zone. Is that, does it say?
It's the end zone. I think that probably doesn't have anything. I don't really know. I don't know if they're tearing down are they tearing down the seats that they have? And I'm not sure that they have room on the other side, so I don't know.
Well, the seats that they have are at the south end zone. That's enclosed. The north is open, and it's got that hotel in behind it. So I don't know how deep the stuff that's there would go.
Ooh. Well, there's the other end zone. So it looks like they're doing something to the north end zone too.
So for one, they're closing it in. I mean, they've got seats in that north end zone, but they are detached from the otherwise horseshoe. There we go.
That word.
Yeah, that. So what else you got?
So
I'm not seeing these. I'm seeing these for the first
inside,
time.
this is going to be inside the first picture that we showed you. So
that's gonna okay.
That is housing a basketball practice facility, apparently.
So that probably is the north end zone then, because that's closest to Memorial Gym.
Yes, that would make sense. It probably has a walkway from here to the Memorial Gym, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
some sort of skywalk or whatever. But I love that they're, that you're seeing kind of some modern amenities.
Well, I love that you're kind of seeing some synergy between the facilities and between the sports there, because even as landlocked as Vanderbilt is, besides, football and basketball kind of sharing a bit of a walk. Football and baseball sharing that walkway. There's not a whole lot connecting Vanderbilt athletics to each other, I don't think. I mean, you've got McGugan Center, and you've got the street that runs between that and Hawkins Field and the football stadium, and then Memorial Gym on the far side. But yeah, if you can build some kind of a physical connection between those, I think that kind of helps a little bit.
Mo, this looks like a parking deck to the right here. Perhaps I wonder if that is the hotel on the other
No,
side.
that's the
Is that
parking deck.
That's the parking deck. Okay, so
Yeah.
that means that this is definitely
The north end
the
zone.
north end zone.
Yeah.
That's look, I love the idea because listen, Vanderbilt's never going to have, an 80,000 seat stadium. They don't need an
Nor do they
80,000.
need it. Yeah.
They don't need that. What they need is, to upgrade the experience of coming to a Vanderbilt football game.
Yeah, I mean,
this
bigger
does that.
isn't necessarily better, but if you can have the best 40,000 seat stadium, excuse me, and like you said, improve the experience, then that's going to be plenty, I would think.
I think this is a wonderful idea. I think it's a great addition to the stadium. I really feel like Vanderbilt is, and Candace Story Lee, you've talked to her on this show about it. It really feels like they are trying to, just improve the situation that they are all in. And Vanderbilt Athletics does not have a great situation monetarily right now, but with this, it gives them a purpose and for good reason. Don't get me wrong, that the administration at Vanderbilt has not always been, very athletic minded. Let's put it that way. And so for the entire school to come together and kind of say, look, we're going to put something into this. We're going to really focus in. And I mean, you see the upgrades on the far ends on there too, Mo, with the video board in the top left there. That's super cool. It just feels like this is kind of the turning of a page for Vanderbilt athletics.
Well, I think if you can get some people excited about Vanderbilt athletics, that's a good place to start. And like you said, that there are people on that campus who have not always been athletically friendly, and I think it's kind of held that department back to some degree. And so maybe I would hesitate to think that everybody's on the same page, but maybe more people in decision-making positions are getting to be on the same page with regards to athletics. And I think that excitement kind of bleeds over. So.
Oh, it absolutely does. And I mean, I would want to go to a Vanderbilt football game and experience what I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a fun experience, and you're probably going to get some upgrades to the locker rooms. You're probably going to get some upgrades to other things that are going to help recruiting, because look, this is going to help recruiting. You're not going to be playing in a glorified high school stadium. And that's not what I'm saying that Vanderbilt is right now, but it's, compared to the rest of the SEC,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the same.
Right.
And so now you are at least saying, look, this is a stadium that I feel like I'm playing major college football in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a facility that you can be proud to be a part of,
Right.
proud to play in, and it, like you said, it probably says Southeastern Conference football a lot more than the current situation does. So,
well, kudos Vanderbilt, and kudos to Candace Story Lee for being persistent on this matter and finding a way to make it happen. So I want to give her props, because I don't think this happens without her. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think it happens without her, because she has the long history with the school, from being a student athlete there herself to working in athletics administration basically since she ended her playing career. So, I mean, she's kind of a fixture there on campus. People know her values, and she knows that university and how things work there. So I'm sure that some of the things that she has had to say probably come easier from someone with her background than from a newcomer, so to speak.
Absolutely. Folks will listen to her.
Yeah.
In other news around the Southeastern Conference, apparently Auburn football, we talked about this yesterday, but we have some more definitive information, and it appears that Auburn is somewhere.
It appears that Brian Harsin is walking around with a gasoline can and a box of matches. That's what it appears to.
And you would be right. Tavarish Dawson announced yesterday that he would be leaving the program. But to me, it feels like, I think they're down to now 8 of his first 22 signees, which is,
I think it's 9 of 18.
Okay. Well, that makes it sound a little bit better, but it's 50%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you've lost 50% of your first signing class, and
that's
you're
never
not
a good thing.
And you're not having a good time doing it. You're not winning ball games.
You're not losing them because they can't get on the field. I mean, you're not losing them because you're being so successful that they're not able to play. It's not that they don't want a red shirt. Heck, they do want a red shirt, it seems like. So it's just an odd situation all the way around down there.
Absolutely. It's a mess. Auburn is finally Auburning as we expected this year at some point. So here we go. Really all we're worried about now is when are they looking for a coach?
Mm-hmm. They've got Arkansas coming in there this weekend. They go to Mississippi State the following week, and then they've got A&M at their place on the 12th. So, followed by Western Kentucky, and then at Tuscaloosa.
Bo Jackson told Tony Anderson.
Okay, now who is Tony Anderson?
Well,
I'm not familiar with that name.
Fine, you asked. USA Today. Bo Jackson said, quote, Deion could coach anywhere in the country, college or professional level that he wants to. It's just whether or not the organization is ready for prime. You can look at what he's done for Jackson State, the short amount of time he's been there. He has the charisma. He has what it takes because Deion, like myself, we were coached old school, and that's the way he's coaching his players. You're seeing the results. Basically, Bo Jackson just endorsed Deion Sanders to be the next head coach at Auburn University. Now, if Bo Jackson is saying it, does it have a better chance of happening than it did?
I don't think a potential Auburn coach getting an endorsement from Bo Jackson could ever hurt.
I don't think it would hurt. My question is,
does it help?
Again, it's Auburn, and they keep having, conniptions over orange jerseys. Are they going to hire Coach Prime?
Well, I mean, if they're not going to hire him, it doesn't matter if Bo Jackson endorses him or not. Right?
Well, that's my question, though, is Bo Jackson has now endorsed him. Is it now harder not to hire him if he's interested?
If he's interested. Yeah, now that's a good question. I hadn't thought about it like that.
It's kind of hard to say, no, we're good. But Bo said, and Bo knows.
Yeah, Bo does know.
Literally.
So says Nike. Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, can you not hire a guy who has the Bo Jackson seal of approval?
Be hard not to hire him if he said, hey, I'm interested in your job when it comes open, and you don't, you got to interview him.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you don't,
if they've not already,
and if you don't hire him, you better hit an absolute moonshot of a home run. You better hire
who?
Bob Stoops or Urban Meyer or That's about it. That's the list. You got to hire somebody that's won a national championship. If you don't hire him,
You can't miss.
you can't miss. You can't go. You can't go get somebody. You can't even go get Hugh Freeze. In my opinion, I think people would be less. I think it'd be close, but man. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. And with that said, I mean it's interesting that Bo actually put himself out there and made such an endorsement in such a public forum as that. I mean, because that carries a lot of weight. Or you'd like to think that carries a lot of weight in Auburn and around Auburn in those parts. And so I would think that he knew perfectly well what he was doing when he did it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was to create some pressure as far as that goes. But that's going to be interesting because, like you said, orange uniforms.
It's a problem down there, apparently.
Yeah. So this guy.
Yeah. I don't think the guy with the cool nickname is on their radar right now. But hey,
well, he'd certainly better be after this.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break here. Actually, a regular break here, Justin. And when we come back, we've got I want to talk a little Titans on the other side. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Cristiano Patton here on this Thursday edition. And, well, we said we talked a little Titans, and really what I wanted to talk about was Sports Illustrated. Connor Orr put out a story on the NFL trade deadlines, 9 deals we'd like to see, and among those deals are the Titans as buyers at the deadline.
Not just buyers, but buyers of a running back. As buyers, according to Connor Orr, the AFC South is an absolute mess right now, and the Titans have uppercutted their way out of a dismal start to the season. They should now allow themselves the luxury of supplementing the offense. Give Derrick Henry a spell with one of the 100 talented running backs theoretically on the market. Give Ryan Tannehill somewhere to throw the ball. Robert Woods can't do this by himself. And so, with the Titans as buyers, trades that Sports Illustrated would like to see include Kareem Hunt to the Titans.
Listen, I don't hate it. I mean, I don't hate it. We all know that Derrick Henry's a 2-down back. Kareem Hunt gives you a better option than you currently have in the backfield on third downs and out of the backfield as a receiver. I don't hate the idea. I mean, but here's the thing. Let's go get somebody that we can give up a first-round pick for, because J-Rob's going to whiff anyway. You can afford, if you are the Titans, you can afford to give up first-round picks.
Because keeping them isn't doing you any good anyway.
Keeping them ain't doing you no damn good, and you might as well just figure out how you might as well go get somebody who you know can be good at a position of need, which is wide receiver. Because if they have a second wide receiver, Treylon Burks still not back. I don't know if Treylon Burks is going to come back. I mean, he's been dealing with turf toe for the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And Kyle Phillips is now on IR. You've got to have a receiver.
And that, I think no one would have had a problem if someone had said the Titans need to trade for a receiver. But the Titans trading for a running back when they have a running back who is third in the league with 536 yards in 6 games is a little odd.
I mean, I'm fine with it if that's not the only thing that's not the only move they make. Again, I would be perfectly fine seeing Kareem Hunt on the Titans. I think that would be phenomenal. He gives
you don't think at some point that's going to cut into Derrick Henry's productivity?
I don't think you would use him the way you use Derrick Henry. And even if you did, I mean, that's a guy who can, I mean, he can be Derrick Henry 2.0. Not that apparently we like that, because Deontay Foreman doesn't have a job with us. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't hate the idea. I think it would be a secondary idea to getting a wide receiver.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, I would much rather see somebody, who can catch the football, like, I don't know, Jerry Jeudy.
No, he's being traded elsewhere.
To the Packers.
Yeah.
According to this.
Mm-hmm.
But you can afford to give up the first round pick. And Jerry Jeudy's worth it.
Also, they are suggesting Chase Claypool to the Rams. So there's another receiver
who could potentially be on the market.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I love
trade
Claypool.
Deadline Tuesday?
The NFL trade deadline is November 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern. So 3 o'clock, right in the middle of our show. Perhaps we'll have some news to break there.
Yeah.
I don't know that Claypool makes a whole lot of sense for the Titans, mainly because the Titans need somebody who can take the top off. They don't have anybody who can run by defensive backs fast enough that Ryan Tannehill can get them the football in the 2.3 seconds he has to throw it, if that.
Yeah. And so maybe someone who can take the top off isn't necessarily a fit if they can't get downfield before Tannehill is having to either get rid of the ball or pull it down.
Maybe not, but having that threat also releases at least one, maybe two defensive backs into, deep third coverage, meaning that that crossing pattern over the middle to Robert Woods just became wide open, or to Noah Westbrook-Akine, who is now your third receiver and getting those good matchups against outside backers, and your offense becomes far more productive, even though you can't get Jerry Jeudy the football.
Right.
He wouldn't be happy, but the offense would be better.
I guess that's a theory. But I bottom line, though, I mean, I'd rather see, if the Titans are going to make a trade deadline move, I would rather see them get a receiver than a running back.
Oh, no question. No question. I do think it's a little weird that you would suggest a running back to the Titans, but
that's my whole thing.
It's a little weird. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not saying that. I just think that if that's the mindset of suggesting that, you know, then sure, I guess I don't hate it, but there are other options out there and better options. So anyway, that's really all I have for the Titans, other than Kyle Phillips is on IR, and that was announced yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's take a short break and do some high school football picks on the other side of it. What do you say?
I approve this message.
He approves this message. That means we'll be back after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint.
So, I got a DUI. Mom, Dad.
Why didn't you just call someone for a ride?
I wasn't thinking ahead. I didn't think I was going to get caught. Yeah, my best friend Tim.
Still coming to my bachelor party next month?
This DUI cost me $10,000, so no. Yeah, you, in the back.
Did you know I almost died when you hit me?
I didn't think this would affect so many people.
You think it was worth it?
No more questions.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Young, Mo Patton here on this Thursday edition. Justin Kulik on the controls. Glad to have you, Justin. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Here we go. If you are curious about what we're going to say in this segment, you can go follow along or read ahead on MainStreetPreps.com. And as we get ready,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. All of these picks have already been made and are available at MainStreetPreps.com. But the Main Street Preps game of the week this week, Friday night at 7 o'clock in Murfreesboro. The Riverdale Warriors coming off a big win over East Nashville, hosting Stewart's Creek. I'm curious what if any playoff implications this might have.
And I am not entirely sure. I think both Riverdale and Stewart's Creek are on the backside of playoff berths out of Region 4-6A.
Well, I can go look it up right here. Riverdale is 1-3. Stewart's Creek is 2-2. And it appears that Rockville would a Riverdale win and a Rockville loss to Oakland, which is incredibly likely, would create a three-way tie
between those three.
Between those three for third and fourth and fifth.
Ooh, that's spicy.
And Riverdale would have a sixth win, which and Stewart's Creek would be 5-5, meaning that Riverdale would most likely move up.
And then it goes back to head between Stewart's Creek and Rockville,
which Stewart's Creek won, and Rockville would be out.
I'd say that's going to be your most likely scenario.
So Stewart's Creek is saying, we're in. Just a matter of 3 or 4 for us.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like. But yeah, so this is an interesting situation here.
Mm-hmm.
If then statements, yes.
There you go.
Finally.
Captain Chaos.
I got me one.
Yeah. Well, whatever the if is that involves a Riverdale win. That's the one that I'm expecting.
Nah, I'm right there with you. I've got Riverdale 28-21 over Stewart's Creek. So. Also, Friday night at 7, another if-then, but this one's cut and dry. Centennial at Brentwood. Winner hosts a playoff game. Loser does not.
Loser goes to Memphis.
That's exactly right.
Now, here's another if-then for you. Should Centennial win at Brentwood, which is what I'm picking, actually, then their attention immediately turns to South Williamson County and a rooting interest in the visiting Raptors, because a Centennial win plus a Ravenwood win makes Centennial the number 1 seed out of Region 7 6A.
That's correct. It does.
By virtue of their win over Ravenwood. Centennial win and an Indy win by virtue of Independence's win over Centennial. Indy actually wins the region.
How crazy is that?
How crazy is that? That Indy at what, 6-4 would be your region champ?
Yep. 6-4. The only loss Centennial has this year is to Independence.
Period.
That's it.
In or out of region. Yeah.
At all. They're 8-1 with their only blemish to Independence, and that just is mind-blowing to me.
It is a little odd.
But I'm with you. I've got Centennial winning this one as well. I've got them by a field goal over Brentwood. You know, Brentwood's offense hasn't been great over the last few weeks, and I don't know why. I haven't really, dove into what's going on with their offense, if anything particular. Sure. But I think the Centennial offense is really good, and they're hard to stop. So I'm going to go with the Cougars.
CCCHS.
CCCHS. Yeah. Another interesting game. And I'm not even
just
sure.
An interesting matchup to me. Gallatin and Clarksville.
I don't understand. I don't necessarily understand how this one happened. Like, how did these two teams end up playing one another?
Well, it's a region game, I believe.
I thought Clarksville was 6A. But I guess it is. It is a region game. Okay, well, then that's why. Gallatin is 6A. So for some reason, I was thinking they were 5A. They had been 5A forever until this last.
Yeah, they've kind of been back and forth a little bit.
That's why. Yeah. Okay, that's why I was a little confused. But now I'm far less confused.
I'm here for you.
Gallatin could certainly throw a Gallatin and Clarksville probably playing for the just seeding, because it looks like,
I would imagine Beach and Hendersonville are 1-2.
No. Right now Clarksville is the 2 seed. They're 3-1 in the region. A Gallatin win would create a 3-way tie if Hendersonville was to beat 0-4 West Creek. It would create a 3-way tie for that 2 spot. But
a 3-way tie for the 2 spot.
Correct. So all of them they're in.
They're
right
in.
Now. Gallatin, Hunt, Clarksville, Hendersonville are pretty well in, because Rossview plays Beach.
Okay.
So in this one, I've got Clarksville 27-20, but I don't feel great about it.
Clarksville has won their last 4 games.
They are on a roll here. They are on a bit of a win streak.
Now it looks like,
including a win over Hendersonville, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Which defeated Gallatin 22-9 back in mid-September.
Right.
So, I've got Clarksville in this one as well. Got it pretty close, just because I think Gallatin's going to play well enough defensively to keep it close. They've played some pretty good defense. They lost to Lebanon last week 14-9. And that's a pretty good offense there.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. But I've got Clarksville 27-20, but it probably won't be as high scoring. Your 14-13 is probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Davidson Academy at CPA. CPA had a great first half last week. They played a great 6 quarters, and then Lipscomb Academy showed up and took care of business as they should, even though, everyone treats them poorly, apparently. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go check out the Main Street Preps podcast and mainstreetpreps.com, where you can hear Trent Dilfer talk about it. So anyway,
take some cheese with you when you go.
Davidson Academy at CPA Friday night. I've got the lines in this one. Again, I still don't think Davidson Academy is great, and I feel like CPA certainly is. So I'm going to go with the lines.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good synopsis of the situation. I feel like CPA is a little bit more of a known factor than Davidson Academy is. We picked them a couple of times early on and didn't quite get the performance that we expected out of Davidson. And I just don't know what to expect out of them at this point. And so kind of based on that, I took CPA by a touchdown. But I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a close game. I think CPA wins it. Actually, I've got CPA 28-24. So
I've got them 35-24. Columbia Academy at Grace Christian. They're playing for a playoff spot. This is a playoff game.
This is a playoff game, yeah, because the winner goes on and the loser goes home. So, and you were over there for Columbia Academy and Clarksville Academy last week in the battle of CAs, and Seth Anderson kind of pulled out an offensive wrinkle.
Yeah, it started and played for the entire game. A new player at quarterback. I'm not going to say a quarterback because he's a receiver who was playing quarterback, but they just kind of went to a different mindset and giving themselves a more athletic option behind center. But
he was also 10 of 20 for 171 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he threw the ball really well. A couple of seam routes that were just beautiful. So, I mean, he gave them enough of a threat in the passing game to open up the run game, and he obviously took some of the pressure off of Monte Baldwin, and that's why.
And he ran it pretty well as well, did he not?
That's what I'm saying.
He being Harrison Brownlee, by the way, whose name we've not mentioned.
Harrison Brownlee. He did run the ball. He ran the ball very well. Had a couple of big time plays, and for that reason, I've got Columbia Academy winning this game.
Exactly. I think that little jolt and I think the element of surprise to some degree. There's not a lot of film on Harrison Brownlee at quarterback since he's only played the one game. I think that'll kind of impact Grace Christian's preparation time for Brownlee at quarterback. And you also got to think, what if they go back to Elisha Nieves at quarterback? So there's a lot of, kind of cat and mouse between the Columbia Academy coaching staff and Grace Christian's defensive staff, I guess, because you don't know what to expect. Heck, maybe they do go back to Nieves.
I mean, they certainly could. He does. I mean,
he's throwing the ball pretty well. Now, he doesn't give you the running element.
He's pretty well a statue back there, and by that I mean he wants to stay in the pocket.
Yeah, and I mean where he's going to be, but he can throw it.
Yeah, he certainly can.
Who knows? Maybe they do some of both, because Brownlee has been pretty effective at receiver as well.
Right. So I've got Columbia Academy winning for sure.
I've got Columbia Academy as well.
Tonight, Middle Tennessee Christian goes to Friendship Christian, and this one here is a region championship in Class A's East Region.
Friendship Christian is the number one team in the state according to the Associated Press D2A poll. 9-0. Middle Tennessee Christian is number 3, or 8-1,
with their only loss being to Grace Christian, by the way. 35-15. Grace destroyed them.
I'm thinking that is an indicator of how strong the middle region is, even though they're not really getting that love in the AP poll. Nashville Christian at number 5 is the only middle region team that's ranked. But, you know, you've got the 2 D2A state finalists in the middle region in Nashville Christian and, oh yeah, defending state champion Donaldson Christian.
Who Friendship who Friendship beat 43-8. And MTCS beat 19-7.
Okay. That's good to know.
I'm telling you, man, this
and it'll be better to know here over the next few weeks, I think, as you know, we get into the playoffs and those teams start seeing each other maybe for a second time, that kind of thing. But I like Friendship Christian in this one. I think that, you know, regardless of where the balance of power may be, East, Middle, or West, I think Friendship Christian is probably, I think they're your odds-on candidate to win the whole thing this time around.
I think so too, and that's why I've got them 38-31. But I think it's going to be a great football game. I think it is going to be as good of a football game as you're going to find, and that is, again, that one's tonight. So if you're anywhere near wherever Friendship Christian is, you want to
Friendship Christian is in Lebanon, actually.
Okay,
and
that's right. That's the baseball coach,
John McNeil.
Yeah,
and you should. Well, it's probably a little late to go early now, but anytime you can combine a trip to Friendship Christian and a trip to Cherokee Steakhouse, it's probably not a bad thing.
Is he right, Justin? Justin's like, I don't know. Cherokee Steakhouse sounds. Cherokee Steakhouse. What is that?
Oh, so it's right on the water. It's a solid steak spot. It's kind of hidden back there, but so is Friendship. So yeah, if you're out there at Friendship, it makes sense to hit that up for sure.
Justin knows. He's got he's all on. Trust me, Justin is a food connoisseur just like we are. And so,
well, I appreciate you going to Justin to confirm what I've already told you. But yeah,
hey,
whatever.
Listen. I just wanted to get Justin some love.
Thanks, man.
We've been, you know, just FYI, that's they're in Wilson County.
I was about to say, do you want to talk about
for those of you who are wondering, you know, if there's any Wilson County news on this show?
That fired us up.
Anyway,
awesome.
Speaking of Wilson County, Mount Juliet at Green Hill. They
are in Wilson County as well. They're not
the crosstown rivals here.
Yeah.
But if you're going to Green Hill, don't go to Mount Juliet. That's not how you get there.
Now you tell me.
I only know this because of you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did last year when I went to Green Hill for Columbia Central's playoff game. Oh, it's in Mount Juliet. Okay, no,
it's not actually.
It's not. Yeah. So, but anyway,
this one too, by the way, a region championship game.
And Mount Juliet, again, as you look at the AP poll this week, they are number 7. Green Hill is receiving votes. They've been in that poll at times over the course of the season. Mount Juliet's record is listed on the poll as 8-2, and I know that's not right because I know they're not playing 11 games.
They're 7-2.
There we go. Okay.
Green Hill 6-3, but Mount Juliet 5-0 in the region. Green Hill 4-1, but a Green Hill win would give them the region title via the tiebreaker.
Again, I just like the way Mount Juliet has played over the course of the season. Their 2 losses were in the season opener at Gallatin and to another Wilson County rival, Lebanon. But when they've won pretty big. I think they've scored at least 31 points in each of their victories this year. So that offense has really come to play the biggest part of the time, and they are coming off consecutive wins over Republic and Hillsboro, 52-0 and 53-24. So
they've been putting up the points for sure.
The offense is clicking, and I like the Golden Bears as a result of that.
Yeah, I'm going with Mount Juliet here. I think it's going to be a good football game. I wasn't overly impressed with Green Hill when I saw them against Columbia Central. So
I'm going to tell you what, man. When I saw them last year against Columbia Central, they've got a big tight end who I think was a sophomore last year, which makes him a junior this year. And I think he's a guy that's really got a future. And I think with some of the things that they do offensively, he can be a key factor for them. And I wish I could think of his name. I think it's Braden Staten, maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well,
they're just trying to avoid a trip to Page, so that's what they're playing for.
Well, you know, given the last couple of outings for Page, I'm not sure how. I don't know.
So
because Page just got shut out by Indy last week, 13-0, and before that they lost at Nolensville.
And speaking of Independence, they host Ravenwood tomorrow, and with that aforementioned de facto region championship game for Independence.
Hey, yeah, I mean, if Independence wins this and Brentwood takes care of business at home against Centennial, then Independence at 5-4 is your number 1 seed out of Region 7-6A. So
before the last 2 weeks, I would have probably gone Ravenwood here, but I think that defense with Ravenwood missing Chris Parson, I got Indy in this one.
Exactly, that's exactly my thought process there. I mean that 13-0 win over Page really got my attention. I've got Independence by a field goal here.
DCA at Nashville Christian, we just talked about those two, and this one is also a region championship game.
I like the Eagles here. Maybe more than anything, the fact that they're playing at home, and DCA has been a little inconsistent.
They have been inconsistent, but I think they're going to put it together on Friday, and I've got the Cats in this one, 42-38. And
by the way, let me correct myself before we go any further. Braden Staten is a 2023 tight end, all 6'6", 220 of him. So I don't know how you missed him, but
I just don't recall his name.
Yeah.
Finally, Smyrna at Overton. I don't know. I feel like this one has some sort of implications. It does. This is for a home playoff game.
2 and 3, because Cane Ridge is 1.
Cane Ridge is 1. McGavick is 4, or Laverne. Laverne and McGavick playing for the 4th spot.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I like Smyrna in this one.
I also like Smyrna in this one. I think Smyrna has been really good this year. I'm been really impressed with them. So 7-1 overall. Obviously, they're only lost to Cane Ridge. So I agree. I think the Bulldogs get it done. 27-21 is what I've got them. Last week, Mo, you were 6-4. You're 66-34 on the year. I was 8-2, but I still am in last place at 63-37. Just one game behind Donovan Stewart.
I like the way you're calling that last place.
It is last place. I don't even.
Poor Emily.
Before we get out of here, though, we do have some other games to get to. Cascade at Summertown. So put on the turban and tell us what's going to happen down in Summertown.
I really like Cascade in this one. I think they've got enough offensive firepower to get by a Summertown team that has really struggled this year. And I'll be interested to see how they bounce back from this over the offseason and everything that's gone on with that team this year. But I like Cascade by a couple of touchdowns. We already talked about Columbia Academy and Grace. Forest and Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant is already the 1 out of Region 5-2A. And I don't know.
Forest is out.
Is Forest out?
They're out.
So Cascade's the number 4?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, regardless, I like Mount Pleasant in this one by a couple of touchdowns as well. Franklin goes to Summit. Somebody's going to win their first Region 7-6A game. If it's the Admirals, it will be their first win, period. I don't think it will be the Admirals. I've got Summit by a touchdown. Let's see. Did we talk about Loretto Richland?
Nope. Loretto Richland.
Oh, well, we talked to Nick Patterson, though. He talked about Loretto's dynamic offense, and I think it makes a difference in this one. I've got Loretto by a touchdown. You got any thoughts? Real quick.
I'm gonna go with Richland, but I think it's gonna be because it's just a low scoring game. I think they're gonna extend the game.
Okay.
Finally, Spring Hill and Columbia Central Backyard Bowl.
Backyard Bowl. Again, somebody's going to win their first region game. I think it will probably be the host Lions. I think this will be a competitive ball game. So
I agree.
We'll see.
I agree with you on all fronts there. That's going to do it for today. We've got we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. George Plaster at 4:00 should be a great time. So y'all stick around for that. Tomorrow, 2:00, right here, Main Street Sports Today, college football pick'em, and so much more. So we'll see you tomorrow.